So do you feel like you need a little vacation? I feel like you need to get away. Like, get away from all the noise. And it's because there's a lot of energy that is making you judge yourself, be self-critical almost. Like you're judging yourself and you don't really know which way is up or down, which way is right and left for your own self. And so it feels like there's a need to separate. If it's people around you who are constantly yapping and giving their 2 cents and projecting their own feelings onto you and what you need to do, there needs to be a little bit stricter boundaries in that. So only you would know if that makes sense. Maybe if there's nobody around you, it could still just be a pattern to where you feel like you have to be hyper aware of every move you make because of how what you've been through in the past, or like how you were raised, where there was just such scrutiny, there's such like a microscope on everything you did, and it felt like dang heavy judgment. And have you taken the chance to really figure out like what are your truths? Really, what are your truths? And am I taking on truths from my mom, my dad, my siblings, you know what I mean? Or like, are these mine? And even if it's not people, it could be social media. And in terms of maybe like your business or how you show up, and there's so many people saying you should do this, you should do that, follow these rules, these steps. And it's like, oh my gosh. First of all, should you be listening to everybody? I always say, use your own intuition. That's why we're here to go within yourself and figure out what's right for you, and not listening to everybody. Matter of fact, the less people you listen to, the better off you are. So whether that is a like social media cleanse that might be for someone to stop consuming so much, or like physically separate yourself from other people, whether that's your family, friends, it doesn't really matter. I feel like just there needs to be some sort of retreat energy, like I'm off on my own, learning about me, and the only person that matters, the only opinion that matters is mine. You know what I mean? I feel like the divine feminines out there are maybe having a little bit more difficulty here, just because everywhere we turn, there are women should do this and they should do that and they shouldn't do that, and why are they acting like that, and you shouldn't make that much money and you shouldn't say these things and blah blah blah. It's like we still see that in real time, in real life, very practically, and it can make you very confused if you're listening to 15,000 million let's say more than 15,000, a lot of different perspectives, and it is overwhelming to the system, and then you really can't know what your North Star is. Like you don't know your truth and your voice and what it's supposed to sound like. There's a lot of different angles here, whether it is what path we choose to go in life. Like whether you want to have children, be single, do you want to live in the city, do you want to live in the country, do you want to rent your home, do you want to buy your home, do you want to, you know what I mean, you want an apartment, you want to travel, do you want a place to stay, like what's right, what's wrong, what's up, what's down, do you solo travel, do you take heed of the government warnings? It's like, I don't know. But that's really about knowing yourself. And let's say, because I say travel, right? So let's say, for instance, you're someone who doesn't really fear solo traveling, and you go out, you're like Tracy Ellis Ross up in this thing, right? If you've seen that. But it's like you personally don't feel a fear. Like you feel enthusiastic and thrilled to go out and about and explore. And you'll see somebody on Facebook saying, hey, all these government issues going on, and are y'all staying put? Half the people are like, yeah, trust your instincts. Stay in the house, stay put. Half the people are like, girl, no, I'm out there, I'm going. I don't care what anybody. It's my time to go. It's my time to go. And so it's like, okay. Then you have your mother who's probably like, oh, you need to stay safe. Like, it's not safe to go out there during this time. Like, you might get snatched up, and you might, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, who are you? How old are you? How old are you? No, I'm not saying it like that, but it does feel like, can we silence all of that and really know, like, well, how do I feel? Am I listening to people's fear projections onto me? Am I listening to their judgments and making me not choose something that feels good to me, that feels right to me. If you want to go out and travel during a time like this, do you feel at peace with that? And if the answer is yes, go ahead. But if you're hesitating, why? And so it's like, well, whose voice is this? And I think that is reflection point number one. When it comes to making my decisions, whose voice is it? Is it truly mine? Maybe you do have reservations about some things that you didn't before. I know for certain, like, I like to travel when I can and have the money. But am I even holding myself back? Because I'm like, I think I'll be safe if I'm not even leaving the country, I think I'll be safe to just go down a little down south. But it's like, but then the fears come up. It's like, oh my gosh, well, hold on now. I can get snatched out of my car and anything bad can happen. And is that really my true concern? Or am I listening? Is the sound of my mother like, oh my gosh, girl, your grandmother, and you're saying like, oh no, that's so dangerous. Like, you should never leave the house, especially when we have an administration who's like this, and you never know what can happen. It's like, okay, well, you have a divine support system. I know you do. If you're listening, you have your own intuition. You know you're divinely protected. You feel like nothing's going to happen to you. And I don't know why I'm going so long on this one example. So maybe it is more like, hey, you want to go out and about and you want to get away and you want to explore more of the world, and you want to adventure and almost learn more about yourself through these travels and through meeting new people. But the current climate is very, I just want to say stressful. It feels dangerous. It feels scary. But you inside don't really feel like that. You know what I mean? And it's really just a pause. I'm like, okay, maybe even if it's not travel, maybe you want to move somewhere else. Maybe you want to move away from your hometown, from where you grew up your whole life. And not only will people be like, why are you moving so far away? Why are you moving halfway across the country? But it's like understanding, like getting in a different environment will open you up to so many more perspectives. I feel like a lot of us and a lot of you you've been around the same people for so long and you haven't developed your own sense of self, but it's because you haven't had experiences that show you who you are. Oof. It's just been the same old, same concepts, same ideas, same environment, same type of living. And like, you don't even know what it feels like to live this type of way, to experience this type of income, to take a train, take a subway. Like, you don't know what that feels like. You know what I mean? I'm just giving examples. And so, yes, from where you've been, the scope is limited. And it almost feels like there's no other way to live. And I hope I'm making sense. So maybe some of you are pulled to move far. And that feels scary, but also it feels very freeing because you're going to find yourself so much in new people and new places. And if you're talking about like, I'm moving across seas, and you figure out that you love living in, I don't know, Zimbabwe, like I'm just, maybe that's for somebody. In Japan. And you're like, dang, I didn't think I would resonate with these people so much. I didn't think I would love this culture so much. Oh, they live in this type of way. I never experienced that before. I'm still over here, worrying about what he say, she say, and they ain't got nothing I even want to listen to their advice about. Like, they are not living a life that I even want. So why would I be listening to them? I don't feel fearful to go and do these things and explore these places. I don't feel judgment on myself. I know what's right and what's wrong for myself. And maybe if you don't, you have to get away so you can figure out what's right and what's wrong for yourself and not be concerned what other people think. And this is not I I'm gonna do what I want, care what other people think. This is really like people who you've been in close connections with. These are people who have ingrained their thoughts, feelings, actions onto you, and now you have the decision and the choice to break away from that or choose to stay where you are. And you can continue living in a space where you take people's judgments and their criticisms and their projections and keep on living this same loop of a life and watching your every move and every step. Or you can break away. Okay, song. Hold on. Let me put it down an octave. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly, and I'll do what it takes till I something. That's called Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson. Is that right? Let me look it up real quick. Let me pause this. Y'all, let's read it. Let's read it. I love when music comes through. It says, grew up in a small town. Okay, I'm not going to sing it. Grew up in a small town, and when the rain would fall, I'd just stare out my window, dreaming of what could be. And if I end up happy, I would pray, trying hard to reach out. But when I tried to speak out, I felt like no one could hear me. Wanted to belong here. Ooh, come on. I love when spirit comes through. Y'all hit the subscribe button. Wanted to belong here, but something felt so wrong here. So I prayed. I would pray I could break away. And then it says, of course, I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. And I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change. That might be the title of this. Y'all need to make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Make a change and break away, because it feels like you don't belong where you are. I don't belong here. Not saying you're an outcast or anything, but you know that who you are is not who they are. What you believe is not what they believe. And their fears, their worries are not your fears and worries. So this doesn't really feel like social media, but it still could be, because if people are saying like you need to XYZ and make sure you get paid or monetized, and let's say you're somebody who doesn't care about monetization and you just want to do it for fun, but you're worried about an algorithm, or am I going to be relevant, or, trying to follow certain rules. It's like, maybe you don't care. Maybe you want to break away from a certain system. This is very much the age of Aquarius, y'all. Let's not forget. And we're in Aquarius season officially. So that uniqueness, rebellion. Okay, some of y'all got to be rebellious. I'm an Aquarius, so I know what that feels like. But even sometimes I want to break out a little bit more. But I'm just like, oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I'm so nervous. Like, am I though? Actually, I think I'm a little bit more of a butterfly than I was raised to believe. I was told to be quiet a lot, and it kind of made me quieter. And I kind of took on this quiet girl, I don't got nothing to say, very much get along, everybody get along type of energy. But it's like, actually, I don't think I mind ruffling a few feathers. I think I'm cool. I think I can handle it. I can definitely handle people's tomfoolery and what they gotta say. I'll troll, right? So anyways, that's just saying this rebellious nature, or this breakaway feeling of not following the status quo, not staying in the same path as everyone else, maybe people you were raised with, what they think is normal. And it's like, I don't want to live a normal life. Even down to I just saw 1313, and we'll look up that number. And I don't want to live a normal life. Maybe people are assuming that you should be married and have kids by now, and move an hour away just like everybody else, stay right in the same vicinity. But you're like, no, I'm not having kids, I'm staying single, and I want to go be an actress on Broadway, and I'm moving to California next week. You know what I mean? And it's like, that sounds like you, that feels like you. And I love that for you. Let's keep reading these lyrics. Come on, y'all. I don't know these words like that. You heard I barely knew the chorus. That says, want to feel the warm breeze, sleep under a palm tree, feel the rush of the ocean, get on board a fast train, travel on a jet plane far away, and I'll break away. Come on. Okay, the last little bit says, buildings with 100 floors. That's being in a sky rise. I know that's right. Buildings with 100 floors, swinging around revolving doors. Maybe I don't know where they'll take me, but gotta keep moving on. fly away, break away. I'll spread my wings. I'll learn how to fly. Though it's not easy to tell you goodbye. I gotta take a risk, take a chance, and make a change and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, but I won't forget the place I come from. This took a turn, I must admit. Because what I wrote down on my notes, and here's my notes right here, y'all, is finding yourself and your own voice, hear your own voice clearly, and it's about learning about yourself and other experiences, not taking what others have told you or take their judgments about what's right and wrong. And I say you don't have to be perfect, you just have to feel good about who you are and what you represent. Like, I don't know what I wrote. And like, you don't have to be perfect, and it's like going away kind of releases that judgment because you're with people or going to be around people who don't know you, and they really don't care about like who you are and what you do, and you can really just be your freest self, and you can make mistakes. But anyways, that don't have nothing to do with the lyrics I just read. I just said it did take a turn because it's like, I won't forget the place I come from. I got to take a risk, take a chance, make a change, or break away. Kelly Clarkson, everybody. Woo! Okay. Back into this, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to feel good about who you are and what you represent. Especially you divine feminines, right? Where there's such a burden, an invisible weight of what you should do, who you should be in society. Just how 1616. I don't know. We're seeing 1313 to 1616. I don't really know. I'm write it down though. What's perfect? And like, newsflash, there is no such thing as perfect. It's just based off people's own definition and rules, and it changes depending on who you're talking to. So if you're looking at people and asking people or concerned about people who have been in your vicinity your whole life, they have a what perfect and right looks like. But if you go 1,000 miles away, break away, perfect in their eyes looks different. Even like when we're talking about beauty standards, you know what I mean? To the people you grew up with, maybe you're not the perfect whatever. But then you go somewhere else, it's like, oh my gosh, you're so perfect. You're so perfect. It's like, well, you get to determine what perfect is. And I wouldn't even really worry about what perfect is. Like, you being yourself, flaws and alls, mistakes and all is perfect. Okay? But it still takes you really knowing who you are and being confident in who you are. And just really asking yourself, let me see if there's anything we need to really ask. Like, we already asked ourselves, like, whose voice is this? And how do I feel about a certain thing? If there's a decision that you want to make, if there's any doubts that come up, can you trace it back to a certain person? Or do you truly feel that way? And it's fine to have your reservations as long as they're yours and not somebody else's, like, doubts and fears. But if you have your own doubts and fears, cool, sure, that's fine. But that's another story for another day. I feel like some of y'all really want to just spread your wings a lot more. And even the idea of spreading your wings comes with judgment from people. But it feels like you gotta go. Or you have to separate. Like I said, this might not be physical. This could be like, literally, I need to stop listening to everybody's TikToks. You know what I mean? And being pulled side to side, like, oh, do this, no, do that. Oh, this is not what you need to do to make sure you stay relevant. Oh, this is what you need to do, and you need to blah, blah, blah. It's like, do I care about all that? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're the rebel naturally. What is it that I care about would be another reflection question. What do I actually care about compared to what other people say I should care about? Like, what is the norm? Do I fit that norm? And it's fine if you do. Any other reflection questions that we should ask ourselves? Let us look at these numbers, 1313 and 1616. Let's see if there's anything in there, and then we'll wrap it up, I think. So let me look at these numbers. Okay, I'll read this a little bit. It says, angel number 1313 is an indication from your angels that they are helping you to gain a positive and optimistic outlook and are helping to empower you so that you can walk your chosen path with confidence and grace, and suggest that the ascended masters are working with you on your thought process to enable you to make the highest and wisest choices. Be prepared to expand and develop your personal spirituality in new and exciting ways, and look for opportunities to creatively express yourself from the heart. Use your natural interests, talents, and personality to bring joy and upliftment to others. That's really nice. Anything else? It's time to live your truths and express yourself with clarity, purpose, and love, and be a positive light to others. Interesting. All right, let's go to 1616 then. Okay, I'm going to read all of this, so just listen up. Angel number 1616 brings a message from your angels to keep your thoughts uplifted and positive, and let go of material concerns or matters. The focus is on emotions, family issues, your home environment, and you as a person. Let me read that again. The focus is on emotions, family issues, your home environment, and you as a person. New energies will be entering your life, which will lead to a renewed enthusiasm, and the angels are sending you positive energy and balance so that you're able to stay focused upon your path. Angel number 1616 encourages you to ask for assistance in repairing or readjusting to something that may be hindering or bothering you and causing anxiety. Listen, what did I say again? Encourages you to ask for assistance in repairing or readjusting to something that may be hindering or bothering you and causing anxiety. This may have something to do with unresolved debt, a purchase, or the attainment of something of importance that you're unable to afford. This is about money, maybe. The angels ask you not to be disheartened, but to maintain a positive frame of mind as they are working hard behind the scenes to fulfill your needs. You are asked to remain receptive of the gifts of the universe. Interesting. Might be also new partnerships. But it says number 6 relates to love of home and family and domesticity, service to others, responsibility, income and financial aspects of life, and providing for the self and others. Number 6 also resonates with personal willpower, solution finding, and overcoming obstacles. So interesting. Whew. Ultimately, though, this was a lot about judgments, projections, finding your own truth, breaking away. What feels right to you, what's more honest to you. It's interesting. Let me know if that resonates, though. I'm not going to hold y'all for too much longer. And like, have you moved far away from, like, where do you live now? I'm not going to ask that question, of course, but like, have you moved far away from people? Are you feeling the pull to move away? Like, how far do you live from your hometown? Is it the best thing that's ever happened to you? A lot of people move and they don't feel no regrets. And maybe if you were scared at first, share that experience and how you maybe worked through it. I would say do your research, whatever you're going to do. That is a very good point. But if you're still listening, you know, I would maybe put a book in the comments, a book emoji, or like a light bulb emoji, because I feel like as long as you do your research and gain knowledge about maybe where you're going and what you want to participate in, and like you understand the ins and outs for the most part, and you do your due diligence, like I wouldn't say just fly out the coop and not know what you're doing. That would be bad advice. At the very least, know what you're kind of getting yourself into. Ooh, I think that's very important, because that will also resolve some of the fear around the next step. And also, a part of me wants to talk about a safety net. And maybe it's like, get yourself a financial safety net, but I wasn't going to go there. I was going to say more spiritually, if you can work on your spiritual connection to source, and that thought of like, oh, fortune favors the bold, and if you go out, if you leap, you will be caught. If you can work on that confidence in your spiritual team to get you where you need to be, or to protect and support you in your leap, that might take some inner work, or just take some more personal connection time with your ancestors, with your whoever you talk to, and really feel that feeling of like, okay, yeah, no, you're protected. If you jump and leap, I got you. So I feel like there is a practical knowledge that we want to make sure that you have, and also a very strong spiritual grounding and foundation. Because if either one of those are missing, you could be leaping out into danger, and I don't want you to do that. Because then you'll be proving these people who are yapping, you'll be proving them right. We don't want to do that, right? Right? No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to prove them right. Anyways, okay. Yeah, I'm glad I said that. Okay. But ultimately, like, their judgments aren't your truth. So what is your truth? Hopefully you know, and you got it. And like, hey, where you going? Where we going?